Okay, so today I'm going to do the perimeters, okay, and also areas of composite shapes. So we are doing chapter 10, surface area and volume, through New Century Year 9 textbook, and it's 1003. Now let's have a look at summary of this. I think this is area for rectangle and triangle. Okay, now with a perimeter is the distance all around the shape. So obviously the total distance of the shape is a perimeter, so you need to add all the sides, the measurements. Okay, and the area of a shape is the amount of surface you're going to cover. So like you probably will think of basically rectangle, triangle, square, trapezium, kite, that sort of thing. And the units that we're going to use, perimeter, is because it's distance. It's normally the length units, like kilometers, meters, centimeters, millimeters. Whereas the area, because you're timesing it together, it'll be squared. Okay, so when I say timesing it, it means like this. So for example, I'm looking at the rectangle here, or here, that area A equals length times width. So length is also in centimeters, for example. Width is centimeters. So if you times it together, you will get centimeters squared. Just a bit like algebra, you know, A times A equals A squared. Now underneath here is that A equals LW. It's just to shorten the length and width. So L for length, W for width. Okay, so that's for area. Rectangle, you add them all up for perimeter. So for example, I'm going to write it here. Perimeter is, I'm going to add all this. So if this is a length on the bottom, that should be my length as well, and that's my width. So what I have here is 2 lengths plus 2 widths. Okay, so that's my perimeter. Okay with that? Okay, I'm moving on to the triangle now. And if you think about it, I'm just going to write here. I'm just looking at the rectangle right here. And that was my width. That's my length, L. And if I cut it in half, that's my diagonal. Cut it in half. Okay, that's rectangle. That's rectangle. Cut it in half, okay? That's my triangle, really, if you think about it, isn't it? So half of rectangle is triangle, okay? One of the triangles. There's different types of triangles. So if I want to know the area of triangle, I could do half of rectangle area. Okay, so area of rectangle. I could do that if you want. Okay, so that means my formula will be half times length times width. That could be my triangle, area for triangle. But because we wanted to just look at the triangle, we don't want to just always halve the rectangle. Sometimes you just have to do triangle straight away. So I'm going to name a different name for the length and the width. This length is same as here, length. Okay, it's the base of the triangle, guys. It's the base of the triangle, isn't it? So I'm going to call this length as a B for base. And this W could be my height. Yes, so I'm going to call it as a H as my height. So that is what happened here. If you move to here, that's what the triangle, area of triangle. So in a short, area equals half times base times height, and we can write as half times B times H to make it short. Okay, now what will happen to my perimeter? for triangle. All you have to do is, okay, the B for base, and I'm just going to write A for the length and C for the other length. So all you have to do is find the length of A, B, C. When you add them all up, that'll be your perimeter for triangle. Okay, do some example and then see how we go with that. Example 5. For each composite shape. Composite shape is the shape that has it can be separated into different types of shapes here. So it's not just a rectangle, it's not just triangle, it's not just square or other shape. It's combined. Okay, you can make 2 or 3 different shapes out of that. Okay, so each one of them we have to find perimeter and the area. So we have to answer 2 things for each question. So part A, this is the composite shape. Like we can't really call any name for this because we don't have the name for this particular shape. So we're just going to call it composite shape. And first, I need to find the perimeter. I'm just going to call it as a capital P for perimeter. Now, have a look. How many sides do we have here? 6 sides. Okay. Now, how many measurements, values can you see? I can see 6, 4. So we need to have 2 more sides to add them all up, isn't it? Perimeter is adding all up. So I need to find the other 2 sides. So I'm just going to write 7 meters plus, I'm just going to go with the 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 was a 17 meters. 3, we don't know, meters. Number 4, 6 meters. Number 5, 13 meters. Number 6, we don't know. So I'm just going to, so these are the mystery sides that we need to find. Okay, so let's have a look what we can do. This is the side we need to find. We don't know this one. And this is another one. Oops, I'm trying to get it straight, but not very good. Okay, so these are the 2 sides we need to find out. So I'm going to call this, so that's 1 and that's 2. First one, what will be this side here? It will be, okay, see that on the back, it's a 17. That's a total. If I add this side, number 1 here, and this side, it will be equal to this one, isn't it? So number 1 side is, I can do 1, number 1 side plus 6 has to be equal to 17 meters. Okay, so number 1 and the 6, when I add it together, it's 17. So therefore, my number 1 side is 11, isn't it? 6 plus what makes 17? 11. So I'm just going to put 11 here. Now, number 2 side on the bottom here, okay, is equal to, if I add 7 and the 13, I will get same as number 2. So number 2 is 7 plus 13, which is 20 meters. So my last side is 20. So when you added all this together using your calculator, you will get 74 meters. All right, so that's your perimeter. Area is, let's have a look at area. We can't really use any of area formula, so because we got 2 area formula that we know of, isn't it? One is a rectangle. The area for rectangle was length times width, wasn't it? And triangle was half times base times height. Now, with this composite shape, do you think which one will be the most suitable one? Yes, rectangle formula, because I can't see we can make any triangles with this composite shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2 rectangles here. So I've got 2 rectangles here, and if I could find, so total area of the composite shape is, if I can find the area 1 and then add the area 2, I will get the total 1, right? So before I do that, I'm going to change the color, and I'm going to put all the missing length. So first here, this side was 11. We've done that. We found it in the perimeter, and that was a 20. Okay, so I've got all the measurement that I need, and area 1, I'm going to have a look at the area 1 equals, looking at this one right now, area 1, what will be my length and what will be my width? It doesn't really matter at this stage, but I can see that 7 and 11 is on that shape there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 7 times 11, and 77, and that will be my area for first shape, and I'm going to have to put millimeter square there. And the area 2 is, I'm looking at this one, right? So my length and width, I just need 2 values on this shape. I got 6 and I have 20. So what I'm going to do, I'll just times that. 6 times 20, 120 meter squared. Okay, so therefore my total area equals 77 plus 120. Put that in your calculator, it'll be 197. So I'll just write here 197 meter squared, and that's my final area. Okay, now next one is quite hard, not a lot, but a little bit harder than the first one, because there's some more steps we have to do. Anyway, let's start. First one, we have to find the perimeter, okay, the total distance outside of shape. So how many sides do we need to add up? We got 1 size, 4 sides here, and we have 1 measurement, second and third. We don't know this one, isn't it? So we can't really do anything yet. So I'm just going to put centimeters, first one we don't know, and then 38 as our second measurement, and then 15 as our third, and then 18 as our fourth size measurements. Okay, so how are we going to find this? Now if you look at this, I could see triangle right now. Can you see the triangle? And it is right angle triangle. Okay, right angle to triangle. So which is really, really important for us, because we can use Pythagoras theorem. Do you remember Pythagoras theorem? So I'm going to change the color right now so that we can do this separately. I'm drawing this, right? This one in here right now. So we don't know what this is. I'm going to call it X. And we can find these 2 sides. Now, what would be this side? This one is same as 15 here. They're same, isn't it? 15. So I'm going to put 15 there. And what about this one, guys? What's this? How can we find this side? It's the whole thing is 38, and then this little part is 18. So here I could do 38, take away 18 will be my this side here, which is 20. Okay, I'm just going to put units here. All right, so do you remember Pythagoras theorem? It was x squared, the hypotenuse, because it's opposite to the right angle, the longest side of the right angle triangle, x squared equals 20 squared plus 15 squared, right? But we don't want to know x squared, we just want to know x. So we do square root of it and 15 squared. And then also x need to be positive. So when you put that in your calculator, this, you will get 25 centimeters. Okay, so that's what is a missing part, is 25 centimeters. Okay, so when you add it all together, what you're going to have is 96 centimeters. So we're going to do the area. Before I go to the area, I have to separate this into two shapes. Why? Because I don't have formula for this composite shape. So I'm going to call this area 1, and I'm going to call this area 2, and I'm going to put my missing parts here just in case if I need it. I might not need it, but I'll see. And also what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put that as my 20 centimeters, just what I've done here. And then the rest, because it was a 38, it was 18 because it's the same as this one, centimeters. Okay, so put all that in, because with area, the total area, of this composite shape is area 1 plus area 2. Okay, now area 1, I'm going to do it all in one go. Area 1 is our triangle. So I'm going to go with a half times base times height. What is my base? This is my base, guys. That's my base of the triangle. And the perpendicular, which is the other side, 20, is my height. So that's my 15 centimeter. My base is 15, because that's the same as this one. So 15 is my base. And my height is 20 plus, now area 2 is my rectangle here, which is length and times width, which is 18 times 15. So I'm just going to go with 18 times 15. And if you put all that in your calculator, what are you going to get? You will get about 150 plus, and 18 times 15, you will get 270. When you add it all together, you'll get 420, what was a unit? Centimeters squared. Okay, make sure you put the square in it because it's area. Okay, well that's all it is for this lesson. So hopefully you can understand, and if you don't, please watch the video more than once, and we'll see what happens. All right, thank you.